my name is Jasmine. In 3 months, me and Moon Rabbit Theatre Company are going to bring a new play to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So today we're going to learn some lines. Bit of a disclaimer for this series. This isn't actually a how-to. I can't really tell you how to put on your own play. I can only really tell you what we've done and what works for us. And hopefully with that, you'll be able to find something helpful in there or find it interesting at the very least. And maybe even you'll be inspired to put on your own play, which is great because the world needs more art, and that's my motivational speech, and that's all I have to say about that. Today we're going to learn our lines. There's 40 pages in the script and I've looked it up and it's about 9,000 words. I wouldn't recommend looking it up. There's no need to know that. That's unhelpful, I would even say. Line learning is one of the hardest parts, I think, for an actor. It's not the fun part. The fun part is when you're staging it, when you're doing it in front of a director and playing and finding character. That, I think, is the most fun part. The line learning is the hard work, the drudgery, but it's necessary. There is no one way to do it, but I'm going to show you some of my many methods. Personally, I like to try learning lines before deciding anything about character. Maybe I'll have some ideas about who I want the character to be, but I like to have the script in my head before I start developing it. The reason is, once you start rehearsing, there's only so much you can do with the script in your hand. There's this literal and psychic block that stops you from accessing the character. Even if you're coming up with ideas in rehearsal, you're really hindered by the script. So I like to try, if I can, have the scene that we're rehearsing off book before we start. The thing about line learning is that your memory is like a muscle. The more you do it, the easier you're going to find it, and the quicker you'll be able to learn the lines. I find it also works in a way that, like a sponge, I suppose, in that once the script is in for me, it's in. People sometimes ask me, are you not afraid about forgetting the lines on stage? And I find there's a point where you just have to trust yourself that you can feel it's in, you know it. Saying that, you will always flub a line or two. That always happens. The beauty of a one-person show is that no one's waiting for their cue, no one's waiting for a line. You can get away with it usually. A big thing for me was realizing what sort of learner I am. I'm a visual learner. When I'm trying to remember something, I can see the words in my head. If I learn a person's name and I've not seen it written down, I'm going to really struggle to remember it if it's just having heard it. I have a friend who changed his name on Facebook to something else, and every time I saw him, I could not remember what his actual name was because I could just see that Facebook name in my head, and it would take me ages to try and remember, and I was always dreading if ever I met him and was with someone to introduce them. I just could not remember. I had known this person for years and it was like I had edited it in my brain. So today we're going to go to a cafe to do some line work, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff I like to get up to when I'm learning lines. So come along then. I'm staying here. You'll go with that, Jasmine. So I went to one of my favourite coffee shops to do some line learning. I really love going to a place where there's a bit of noise and buzz happening, because I find if I'm in a quiet flat, it's too quiet and I'll get distracted. Whereas if I'm somewhere where I have to focus, that works for me. Sometimes a park is also good for that. So because of this visual learning thing, I like to write out the lines. I'll read through a section over and over, then write it out. Then try saying it in my head, checking if I've got it right, and writing it out again while I'm looking. Eventually I will write out the whole play from start to finish from memory, but that's end goal stuff. At the moment we're taking it section by section. You just have to go one step at a time. The one thing about being in public is that when I'm memorizing something, my face can sometimes be doing a lot, and that can be a little embarrassing. So I generally try to face a wall or be somewhere where no one can actually see my face. Saying all that about being a visual learner, I don't really have a huge amount of time to be sitting and writing all the time. And even if I did have all the time in the world, it can get a bit boring just writing and writing all day long. So the next step for me is to record myself saying the script. So I record myself on my phone reading the script, and then I can have it in my ears. And when I'm making dinner or going for a walk or cleaning or doing whatever, I can listen to the script. And then the final piece for clicking in everything and really memorizing it is in the staging of it. So I need to get it up on its feet. In the simplest terms, this is doing the lines in front of a director who, in this case, is Josh, our writer. He's very talented. I will do the parts that I remember as best I can, and then we'll play around with character and ideas and stuff and pacing and that kind of thing. A big thing for theatre is that the script is gold. It's Bible. In my opinion, especially. I like to do exactly what's on the page. I suppose especially because I'm marrying the writer, that seems important. I won't get away with it, really, with improvising much. But I also think that it's written a certain way for a reason, you know, so I like to stick and get it word for word as best I can. So that's how it works for me. It's a process, and you have to just trust the process and trust that it will go into your head. As this is our third show, this will be the third script that will be in my head, and they do stay, you know, especially once you've staged it, once you've performed it even, but especially once you know, in staging it, you're assigning an action to those lines and intention and thoughts behind it, and it does stay in your head. So you'll be fine. If you're learning a script at the moment or learning lines, it will be fine. You'll do it, you'll get it, you'll be good. Good luck. I should also mention that we are doing 2 plays at the Fringe this year. We're doing our new one, which is Shirley, a ghost story, based loosely on the life of Shirley Jackson and the works of M.R. James. It's very spooky, it's really good. But we're also doing an old play, our first play, The Poetical Life of Philomena McGuinness, about an Irish nurse in World War II. It's really fun and sad and great, and we're going to do that again. So we're doing alternate days at the Fringe this year. So thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions, pop them into the comment section. If you have any ideas for things you'd like to see, please let me know. Thanks.